Going live on YouTube, starting us up on Rumble, starting up the music. Oops, there we go. All right. Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for important and interesting happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you don't know you have. The sources of our information come from the website on thisday.com and the smart device application's historical calendar and today's about what happened to date throughout the annals of recorded. Why am I hearing double me all of a sudden?
Sorry.
Oh, wait, that's why, because I'm not sharing my screen. Whoops. Okay, go live. All right. that was confusing for a second. Anyway, for links to the sources and anything else potentially interesting, please check the underbar of the description below, and all links gathered throughout the show will appear post live stream as per usual. Anyway, I am Aozander, and who am I joined by today?
King's Refuge.
Yes, sir. As well as you viewers, thank you for joining us, whether you're watching us live or at some point in the time-space continuum. Today is Moon's Day, aka Monday, July 1st, 2024. So we have quite a substantial amount of history to cover, actually, today. So it's good that it's just you and I, because, we might even, for time's sake, have to omit some things from the actual script, but we'll see. Anyway, do you want to start us off here in the year 69? That's a good year. Wink, wink.
Yeah, nice. Year 69. Bontavia nobleman Gaius Julius Civius proclaimed Emperor of Syria.
Huh. Alright.
Also in 69, Roman General Vespasian is the first proclaimed Emperor by troops in Egypt during the year of the Four Emperors.
Now I want to explain year of the Four Emperors, and it is what you would surmise. Essentially, like it's within 1 year, four different emperors took power. Be it I'm not sure if one died, from assassination or battle or natural causes, or if there is usurpations or whatever. But pardon me. But let's see here. The year of the Four Emperors was the first civil war of the Roman Empire. Okay, well, there we go. During which four emperors ruled in succession: Galba, Otho, Vitellius, and Vespasian. So this is the last one, Vespasian. It is considered an important event, marking the transition from the Julio-Claudians, the first imperial dynasty, to the Flavian dynasty. The period witnessed several rebellions in claimants, with shifting alliances and widespread turmoil in Rome and the provinces. So, massive, disruption of the way things are, but yeah, it was it's a good read here. So go check it out. You'll find it on Wikipedia, But anyway, let's move on up just 1 year to 70. We're having a lot of Rome history today. There's a lot of history going on today.
I'll give you a second here.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries. I'll take this then. Roman general Titus and his forces set up battering rams to assault the walls of Jerusalem. So we have an assault on Jerusalem happening here. Then 251, the Battle of Abritus in the Balkans was won by the Goths against the Romans. Roman emperors Decius and Herennius Etruscus were killed. So, we had several different Roman emperors, and then these ones were killed on this date. So, major, Emperor Rome history, or Roman Emperor history day it is today for some reason. But then, 1200, in China, sunglasses were invented. Hey! That's pretty cool.
All right.
So the Chinese invented sunglasses. I mean, their future did turn out to be rather bright. More or less. I mean, yeah. And then, 1244, Duke Frederick II of Austria issued a charter extending rights and protection for Jews, the first territorial ruler to claim Jews as his own subjects. So, yeah, with some Jewish history, this day as well. I still found it weird yesterday, how Bern, of all places, had expelled Jews. So, back in history. But, yeah. 1517, we have the first burning of Protestants at the stake in the Netherlands. So there's a lot of religious persecution and whatnot, and actually, we're going to have another extreme example of religious persecution here in a minute. Actually, in this next article, Sir King, do you want to take it?
What do we have here?
In 1535.
1535. Thomas More goes to trial in England and on charges of treason for refusing to accept Henry VIII's supremacy over the Pope.
Yep, this was, I believe, something to do with King Henry VIII's Church of England. He wanted to get a divorce from his wives because he couldn't bear a male child to make an heir, and the papacy kept refusing his request to divorce. So, like, he imprisoned wives, he beheaded wives, he got rid of them one way or another. And then eventually he just made his own church. Hey, your camera's on. How you doing, man? Looking good today.
I'm doing good.
But yeah, so he made his own church, the Church of England, and he was the head of it. And Roman Catholicism and anything involving any other religion was swiftly outlawed. So essentially, basically, Henry VIII here was telling Thomas More that to recognize King Henry as God, or be slapped with high treason, which equals death. So yeah, that's some religious persecution right there.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yep. Anyway, we have our first different source. It's not on our main source article here in 1745.
Oh, sorry, what's that say?
Warship Elizabeth joins Bonnie Prince Charlie's frigate Dutille, and we all know Bonnie Prince Charlie. The quote unquote pretender. He claimed that he had some relevance to the crown, like he was the rightful heir or something, and there was a whole civil war involving it. So, 1776, really important year right there.
1776, first vote on Declaration of Independence for Britain's North American colonies.
Oh, yeah. What happens in 3 more days here?
Ew.
Yep.
Take it up. Battle!
Yep. Speaking of battles, 1798.
69?
1798.
1798. Napoleon fleet reaches Alexandria, Egypt.
Yeah, that's right. He fought in Egypt and he conquered. He was a force, man. I've gone off about him before, so let's just move on up to 1823. Huh.
1823, United Provinces of Central America declares itself independent of Mexico and Spain.
That's pretty big right there. Because as we know, Spain, they colonized that whole Central and South American region. They actually got into the southern area of the U.S. I believe they got into Florida and such. Yeah. We all know that France had Louisiana and all that area that we got in the Louisiana Purchase. That was Napoleon himself selling, I believe, to Andrew Jackson, was the sitting president at the time. But to fund his war efforts in Europe, that was during the Napoleonic Wars. So, moving on up into 1836, U.S. President Andrew Jackson announced to Congress request by James Smithson of 100,000 gold sovereigns to found Smithsonian Institution in Washington. I've been there. Have you been to D.C. yet?
No.
Oh, man. Well, I would recommend going during these times by any stretch. But no, I went up in 2004. Yeah, the summer of 2004. Went up to Washington, D.C. and Manhattan, New York, and went to several of the museums in the National Malls, the Smithsonian's and whatnot, and You know, that's worth the travel. Like when things calm down politically and everything, like if you can, and I'm saying this to everybody watching, like, you know, you gotta go and check out, you know, what they got in the national museums and everything. You know, that's where they keep the good stuff. So, and of course, you know, we went into the Air and Space Museum. That's where they have the Wright brothers plane, as well as the Spirit of St. Louis. So, anyway, 1841, Mammoth Cave National Park was established with 45,310 acres, including the world's largest cave network in Kentucky, of all places. So if you're a spelunker, go to Kentucky. They got fried chicken, and you know it's that, you know, the largest cave network. That is some deep frying right there. Not even a boo.
Hey.
Anyway, what do we got here in 1847?
1847. First U.S. postage stamps go on sale. 5-cent Franklin and a 10-cent Washington, New York City. I bet you those fit you more than 5 cents now.
Oh yeah, actually, I went and I bought a couple stamps. 2 stamps. I was mailing two letters, and the total came up to like $1.30 something, or whatever. Like stamps are like 67 cents each or whatever. And I'm just like, wow, like. In and Out though, they still have their prices down. I got a burger and fries. It was like $8 change. So that's really good.
I went to McDonald's. I'm sorry, but their $5 meal deal, as long as you get the hamburger, the double hamburger.
Yeah, the McDoubles.
Yeah, I got the McDouble, but. I'd rather have a large fry instead of those nasty ass fucking chicken nuggets, to tell you the truth. So
yeah, that pink slime, overprocessed garbage. I don't get nuggets anywhere ever. Like,
yeah,
I get straight up just chicken. So, but let's see here, 1850. That's a lot of ships.
1850, at least 626 ships lie at anchor around San Francisco Bay. Oh my God, they're getting ready for something.
Well, that tells me, like, you know, that sounds like a stitch right there. You know, Experiment 626. So
yeah,
I had to do something. Every time I see that number, I have to make that reference. So, you got another one 8 years later.
Oh, 1858, first Canadian coins minted. $1, $5, $10, or 20 cents. Sorry, 1, 5, 10, 20 cents at the Royal Mint in London, England.
That's interesting, because I was thinking about this the other day. Like, you know, you want a decent amount of denominations, but at the same time, you don't want too much, because then, you know, people are going to have too much in their wallets and whatnot. You know, or in their pockets, in their coin purses, you know, with coins, you know, or with paper money, you know, in their wallets. Because, like, you know, we have the U.S. has a $1 bill, the $2 bill, the $5 bill, 10, 20, 50, and 100. So, 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, 50. So that's 7 bills. We have 7 denominations. And, like, what were we talking about the other day? About, like, a $4 bill or something? Like, we were talking with Hollywood, right? Hollywood Haters, your cousin?
Yeah. Right.
And I was like, I wouldn't mind a $4 bill, but I was like, and that's what, you know, that's why I'm going off this tangent right now. That would make 8 bills. That's a lot of different bills. So, and like, so, you know, you have the 1, 5, 10, and we have that. You know, we have the penny, the nickel, the dime. Then we have the quarter, which is 20, but not 25. We do have a 50-cent piece.
A penny is a story in itself, man. Like, what costs us 2 cents to make a penny?
It does, yeah. Like, I'm honestly wondering, like, when we're going to
did they try to get rid of it, and people are like, man.
I've heard
more penny.
Like I'm trying to say murmurings and rumblings at the same time. I've heard murmurings about, like, you know, or mumblings about, like, about trying to get rid of the 1 cent. But like then that means everything will have to be like either a 0 or a 5. So we'll have to change the entire way we do trade. And
Remember when
that
they
goes
tried to do $2
internationally as well.
bills?
Like everything is a double decimal. So
They tried. Remember the $2 bill?
yeah. I heard a
But
story about some guy getting arrested for trying to use a $2 bill. The guy thinking it was fake money.
they're just not in circulation anymore because they're a bad idea, but they're still out there.
They're still out there.
Same with the Susan B. Anthony coins.
Yeah.
They remember that? They tried to pass those off.
They did what? Oh wow!
The Susan B. Anthony, they're dollar coins.
Yeah, I have a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like I used to have a collection of $2 bills, and then our house got broken into, and they took it, and I was sad. And they also took my collection of drummer boy quarters and all that stuff. Like it's a whole story, but but I have a few like JFK 50-cent pieces. Like they're big coins. They're like this big. Like
yeah, I had some 50-cent pieces.
Yeah. But anyway, let's move on up. We have another 1858 here. If you want to take that, you just took 1858.
1858 joint reading of Charles Darwin and Alfred Russel Wallace papers on evolution to the Linnean Society renders audience awestruck. Silent.
Huh. I would like to be a fly on the wall there. That sounds pretty interesting. Like, could you imagine, because that changes the game. The concept of evolution. We take it for granted, these days. But can you imagine, before that, it was all creationism. It was just, science is that God just magicked everything. Yeah. Like the Family Guy. Remember that one?
Yeah.
You know what? Screw it. I gotta play it. Hold on. Family Guy creationism.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm obligated by the state of Kansas to present the church's alternative to the theory of evolution.
And see, I just want to wrap that all up. I'm not mocking the theory of creation. I'm just saying, what if both can be true? What if God created everything and then it evolved into what we have now? What if both can't both can be true? Anyway,
what if he created
what
what if he created the building blocks?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What
And
if
we went from there.
Yeah, well, from another Family Guy scene, what if the universe is just God lighting his fart? We don't know. So, anyway, before we make any more people angry, let's move on up here to 1859. We have the first intercollegiate baseball game. Amherst defeated Williams 66-32 in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. All right. 1861, the first public schoolhouse opened at Washington and Mason Street in San Francisco. Wow. Public schooling. It's... I have a whole rant to tell about that, but...
It is what it is.
Yeah. 1862, Alexander II of Russia granted Jews the right to publish books. Wow. Can you imagine not having the right to publish books? The Jews were indeed persecuted, yes, but so was everybody else. No group of people on the face of this earth that is, or will exist is without every form of sin. So, yeah. But speaking of giving Jews the right to publish books, at that same time, the Russian State Library was founded in Moscow. So I have a feeling that these two things were worked on together. They made the library, and then they granted them the right. They're like, hey, we have this whole building, fill it. That sounds like a pretty cool quest. 1862 as well, the U.S. Internal Revenue Law imposed first federal taxes on inheritance, tobacco, and on incomes over $600 progressive rate. Boo! Boo!
Boo taxes.
Boo taxes. I mean, like, I understand some taxes are needed, but, like, we can get rid of, like, 90% of our taxes.
It's only temporary.
Yeah, it's only temporary.
It's only 0.5%.
Famous last
Or
words.
whatever they started with.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like, like income tax was brought in for World War II or one? Like,
yeah.
it was brought
I
in for
believe
one
it
of
was
them.
one.
I'm going to say one, yeah. And of course it was brought in as temporary, and now it's just permanent, Like, we just need to abolish the IRS. That's just what we need to do, so.
Oh, there's a lot of 3-letter companies that we need to oust. Not companies, but, government programs.
Yeah. But you got a really important one here, 1863.
1863, Battle of Gettysburg begins in Pennsylvania. Union force and halts Confederate General Robert E. Lee's army of Northern Virginia.
Yep. Battle of Gettysburg. One of the more known battles of the Civil War. Of course, there's also Antietam and stuff. So. But yeah, you have. Do you want to take these two 1863s? Like.
1863, free city delivery mail begins in 49 cities. Postage 3 cents per ounce.
Nice.
Yeah, free.
Yeah.
Another 1863, slavery abolished in Dutch territories, including Saint Martin, Suriname, and the Dutch Antilles, now marked as Kelly-Coitoy Day in Suriname and the Netherlands.
All right. Abolition of slavery. Yeah. 1867 here, the Dominion of Canada was formed, comprising the provinces of New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Ontario, and Quebec, with John A. Macdonald serving as the first Prime Minister. Happy birthday, Canada! Where's my cheer? There we go.
Woo!
Pardon me. Yeah, but happy birthday, Canada. And we're going to have, like, a lot of Canadian history going on today because, like, it's the first of the month, so, a lot of politics, a lot of governments, a lot of businesses. You know how people are. It's like, oh, it's the first of the month, or let's wait till the first of the month to do this and then make it official for this to pass and all this stuff and everything. So that's why we have a 31-page script today because it's the first of the month. So, but 1869 here, we have the Dutch newspaper stamp tax repealed, so that's good. 1869 as well, U.S. Mint at Carson City, Nevada opened. Yep. There isn't a mint on the West Coast anymore, right? Like, there used to be a few, but there's only like one or two anymore these days, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1870, James W. Smith of South Carolina is one of the first black U.S. citizens to attend West Point. And we're going to be talking about another black U.S. citizen to graduate, the first one of that. But before so, 1871 here, the decimal currency system was made uniform in Canada. So that's pretty interesting. They were making cent coins before it became uniform. Remember the article that you took earlier, the 1, 5, 10, and 20 cent coins?
Oh, yeah.
That was before it was uniform, so it has to be a provincial currency and not an entire country. Well, yeah, now wait a minute. That was before Canada formed as a nation, right?
Yeah.
1858 first Canadian coins minted, but Canada wasn't formed as a nation until, where was it? 1867.
Yeah.
Huh. That's pretty wild. So it has to be provincial currency that they were making. Anyway, what else do we got here? 1873, as I said earlier. Actually, do you want to take this one? It's pretty historically significant to me. I'm trying to find it here on my Here you go.
1873, Henry Osan, flipper of Georgia, enters West Point Military Academy. Later, the first African American to graduate.
Yep, as I said earlier,
Damn, all
this is
right.
the gentleman, the first black U.S. citizen to graduate, not the first one to attend, though. But still, pretty interesting that the first one to attend and the first one to graduate, two different happenings, occurred on the same calendar date.
Hmm.
So
Nice.
I guess July 1st is when they first start training? Question mark? I mean, that would make sense. Although, I don't know. Huh. I guess they have like multiple like trainings throughout the year. They have the summer class and a winter class. I don't know how it's set up, but anyway, 1873 as well. You got another one here.
Another 1873, Prince Edward Island becomes the 7th Canadian province.
They're expanding. Those Canadians.
Oh, boy.
1874, we have the first U.S. kidnapping for ransom. 4-year-old Charles Ross for $20,000. $20,000 in 1874? Who is this kid? Royalty?
Who's that?
4-year-old Charles Ross. Like, what is $20,000 worth?
I was just go do that. But you go. Yeah.
1874 worth. Let's see here. It would be approximately, holy
20,000.
shit, $12,376,231,594.18. $12 billion? What the absolute hell? Oh my god.
Dude, do we even have that amount? Do we even have 20,000 like as a nation?
We did, but like, you know, the economy was only in the millions. Like, I know in like World War II era they had like millions, maybe tens of millions. I'm not sure about hundreds of millions. I'm not sure when we had billions. You know, like in circulation, you know, or whatnot. But like, I'm not even sure if we had like if we were even in in the millions yet by 1874. I'm not an economist historian, so
like when Dr. Evil goes back in time and it's like, you give me $1 billion. Like,
like $1 billion.
There's not enough money in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. So wow. I wonder though if that's like the largest kidnapping ransom in equivalent, money, in history. $12 billion.
Gotta be.
It has to be. I don't know. If anybody can figure that out, that'd be great. I'm gonna look for comments here. Do we have any comments yet? Nope, not yet. So, anyway, am I even live? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. We are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're live.
Should be.
Why is it not showing me live on Rumble? Oh, well, Rumble's been taking a crap anyway, so... Anyway, let's move on up here. What else do we got here? 1874, we have the first zoo in the United States opened in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I wonder what that looked like.
There is.
Have you been to any old zoos or, like, any closed zoos, but, that are, like the LA Zoo? Have you seen pictures of the old LA Zoo?
Nah.
Like, here, let me bring this up here.
I think we should get rid of them.
Well, all zoos, definitely, but like old LA
It's
zoo.
not fair.
Yeah, no, like
okay, like animals that get hurt and injured, maybe. All right.
Yeah, while they're being taken care of, yes, for sure.
A sanctuary.
Yes.
Sanctuaries would be okay, but zoos, come on.
But what I'm showing here, and because this is what it looks like these days, but this used to be like one of the pens, like so take out the benches, and re-add the wall right here, and then put in a fence, on this side of the wall, and that was the enclosure. They got this outside, and then they have like some hidey holes in there, and that's it. Like. And they put like polar bears and tigers and lions in there. Like,
It's just sad.
It was really sad.
Poor animals. We're awful. We're very awful.
We are. Like here's like this was another enclosure for something else like lemur monkeys or something, and this was their cage. They had like that little box inside for their indoor, and this was their cage. Just absolute.
Terrible.
Absolute, like my dad went there like this was for like parrots and shit. Like they just along the walkway you got like a little window shopping type of situation. Oh, look at the parrots. Whatever, like my dad went there when it was open, and he has a whole story. Like, remind me, this upcoming Monday. Actually, no, today is Monday. I wonder if we're gonna do a talk show today. I'm not sure. We'll see. But next time we have him on the show, we got to have him talk about his experience at the zoo when he was a kid and the deja vu like situation thing he had, because he and I went up there a couple months ago. And he had this like weird, extremely vivid experience. Like he can see his dad from back in that time and himself holding his dad's hand back then when it was still a live operating zoo. Like he saw through time. It was a surreal experience, he says. So, but anyway, we got to get back to the history here. 1874, Dutch first chamber accepted law governing child labor in factories. I'm all for that. Like children should not have to work, but they should have to learn responsibilities and everything. Like, and having a childhood is still like a relatively new concept. It's only like 100 years old, if that. Like 100 years ago, kids, they didn't have summer breaks. They just worked on the farm, or worked at the corner store or whatever if they lived in the city or something. 1875, Universal Postal Union came into effect after established in the Berne Treaty to organize international mail services. That is very needed. If you're going to send stuff internationally, you centralized, form of operation and all that and whatnot. 1877, we have the first edition of Amsterdammer was published. And I wonder if it's still around. That's a pretty cool name, the Amsterdammer.
Amsterdammer.
Yeah. The Amsterdammer by the students for the students. Is this still the same company? Well, it's... Huh. Well, it's telling me there's theamsterdammer.org. But that's a government, or that's an organization, not government. B.gov is government. News, the Amsterdammer. Well, there is an Amsterdammer up. I'm not sure if it's the same Amsterdammer as this one. But if it is, that'd be impressive. Like, that's 150 years old, roughly. So if anybody can figure that out, let us know in the comments section. That'd be great. And speaking of postage and all that stuff, 1878, Canada joined the Universal Postal Union. We just spoke about that in 1875 for the Berne Treaty. So, 1881, we have the first international telephone conversation from Calais, Maine to St. Stephen, New Brunswick. Huh. Well, I guess that is technically international. Maine, like the state of Maine in the northeastern section of the United States. New Brunswick is just across that body of water in that area. So that is technically international. That's not going, from England to the U.S. or anything. But it is technical international. So, what else do we got here in 1881? General Order 70, the culmination of the Cardwell-Childers reforms of the British Army's organization, came into effect. Well, let's see here. General Order 70, 1881. How major was that? Because you're talking about an entire army reformation. Childers reforms. Let's see. Well, in England, Wales, and Scotland, each regiment was to have 2 regular or line battalions and 2 militia battalions. In Ireland, there were to be up to 2 line and 3 militia battalions. And yeah, this is 1880, so this is still like at the very last stages of like line infantry. Because remember, even in the Civil War, they fought line infantry, right? Like they lined up in lines with the regular military and just volleyed at each other like they did all the way back in the Revolution. So this sounds, yeah, it's saying like line infantry, line battalions, all that stuff. Huh. What do we got here in 1885? Do you want to take this?
1885. Ye through root. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, the reciprocity. The United States terminates the reciprocity and fishery agreement with Canada. Ooh, what's?
So what is that?
Yeah, exactly.
What is like? What is repository? Like, do you know what a repository is?
No,
Oh, okay. Oh, here we go. Canadian American Repository
I had
Treaty.
something to do with something bodies of water.
Huh. The treaty covered raw materials in effect from 1854 to 1866. It represented a move toward free trade and it was opposed by protectionist elements in the United States. Okay. So it's a trade agreement. Okay. So something to do with trading, specifically fish, I'd assume.
Yeah.
So I guess we stopped trading with Canada. That's interesting. What do we go? Oh, 1889. Yeah, I remember this. This one was cool.
Oh yeah, Frederick Douglass named U.S. Minister to Haiti.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was you or a former friend of mine, but I was watching Drunken History of Frederick Douglass and everything, and I believe it was Abraham Lincoln who appointed him as minister to Haiti. Moving on up to 1889, we got another U.S. Mint. Well, the same one actually at Carson City, Nevada, reopened. So we spoke about it opening before, and now it's reopening. So for some time it was closed. That's interesting. 1890, Canada. Canada and Bermuda were linked by telegraph cable. Huh. All right. 1893, San Francisco Bay City Club opened the first U.S. bicycle racetrack made of wood. So San Francisco Bay Club.
Track. Oh yeah,
U.S.
I'll see those
bicycle
pictures.
racetrack. Let's see here.
Made of wood.
Bicycle racetrack. Okay, 1893. Let's see if there's any photographs. Well, it's probably gone and forgotten. Oh no, this is just showing me modern stuff and everything. So if anybody can find me somewhere some history about this bike track, let us know in the comments section. 1896, Wilfrid Laurier was sworn in as the first French-speaking Prime Minister of Canada. Oh, here we go. Those French taking over.
Yeah.
Yep. 1898, Theodore Roosevelt and his Rough Riders charged up San Juan Hill during U.S.'s successful assault on the city of Santiago. So that's during the Spanish-American War, I believe?
No.
Not sure.
Yeah.
Oh. Is that one Daisy?
Yeah, this one's Daisy.
She looks like a problem child.
She's the one that doesn't run away.
Let's see here. We got that one. 1899, Gideon Society was established to place Bibles in hotels. So, yeah, if you ever wondered, where all that Bibles in hotels things came from, it was the Gideon Society. You can thank them for that. Which, I don't think you can find Bibles in hotels and motels and stuff anymore these days. I think that's gone the way of the dodo.
I don't know, it's been a while since I've been in a hotel.
Yeah. 1899 as well, San Francisco City Hall was turned over to the city after 29 years of building. We were just watching something about, the guy was using San Francisco as an example about, stolen, like a flat earther theory, thinking that San Francisco was already there but unpopulated and we just came in and moved in. Like, oh, okay. But yeah, 29 years to build San Francisco City Hall. That seems like a long time. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay, well, actually, now that I see it, still though, well, I don't know. I'm gonna go back on what I have to say because that is a big and glorious building. Maybe it did take 29 years to make that. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on up into the next 100 years. What do we have in 1902?
Yeah, U.S. Congress passes the Philippines Government Act, providing that the Philippines be governed by a commission appointed by the president. With consent from the Senate, Filipinos are to be treated as citizens of their land. No, the USA. It's not the
Not
USA.
the USA, I believe. Yeah, that might be a typo. So they're citizens of their land, but not U.S. citizens. But they're still owned. So they're basically like Puerto Ricans. They're a principality, a property of the United States.
Yeah.
But they don't get to. They get to self-govern, but they don't get to vote in our elections and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And things that we vote on can't affect them.
Yeah.
So, I don't like that. Like, I mean, like, I'm all for making Puerto Rico the 51st state. Because why not?
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's already our property. Make them a state. Give them rights. You know? Make Philippines, completely self-governing and autonomous if they want. Or they can be our 52nd state. I don't know. Like...
I don't know. They're not doing too good with the self-governing thing. So
yeah, and they're really close to China. So, yeah.
Just make them another state.
Yeah.
Have them get in line. Just start putting law and order over there.
Yeah, and then China will have to like be in our waters, and then there will be some real problems. Hey, I think I may have found a slap hazard solution. What do we got here? Just 1 year later, 1903.
1903, Tour de France. Inaugural race begins in Montrun, a southeastern suburb of Paris.
Now it says inaugural, so would that make it the first ever Tour de France? Like 1903. So yeah, so this is the first ever. It was the first. I mean, just had to make sure. I mean, it says inaugural, so that's pretty like self-explanatory. I guess I'm just an idiot. Ooh, you got another one here. Some more sports.
1904, Summer Modern Olympic Games open in St. Louis, the first held in the United States.
Wow.
1904.
I mean, like, we have sunglasses were invented, the birth of France, a lot of Roman, shenanigans. Canada was formed, like, the Tour de France, this is the third modern Olympics at least, so, but then we have, like, 1908, coming up here in a minute, like so much stuff happens on this date, it is mind-boggling. In 1907, the Orange River Colony, known as the Orange Free State, was granted self-government by the British. Yes. Hell yes. And then SOS in 1908, and I don't know how to speak Morse code, but I think it's distress signal becomes worldwide standard for help, which is good. Hasn't it been changed to something else though? Worldwide.
Maybe shorter.
Huh?
Maybe shorter.
I'm not sure. Well, I just searched worldwide standard for help, and I'm not getting anything. So, let's go to Goggle.
The good old Google.
Okay, still SOS. All right. I'll get rid of that. 1910. Do you want to read
1910. Chicago's White Sox Park. Later, Comiskey Park opens in St. Louis. Browns beat White Sox 2-0.
Ouch. So they lost their first game at home, a new stadium, their stadium. Like,
Oh,
talk about getting a kick in the teeth, dude. Ouch. Yikes. 1910, the Union of South Africa became a dominion. So, more things coming into being and all that stuff. 1911, a proclamation removed de gratia by the grace of God from Canadian coins. Huh.
Huh.
Do we still have "In God We Trust" on our money? Hold on a second. Let me. I do have $1 in my wallet.
What?
Woohoo! I have $1. Does it still say "In God We Trust" somewhere? I need a light here. Hold on a second.
Um.
Let's see. Yes, it does. "In God We Trust." All right. So we still have that. But that reminds me about once again bringing up the loon. He was there. And he had to learn. He was there when they added the under God to the Pledge of Allegiance. He remembers that. And he remembers,
Yeah.
of course, when they took it away. And, we both remember that. We lived through that. So,
Yeah. Took
yeah.
gold allegiance out of schools. Took
Yeah.
our flag out of school and replaced them with other flags.
But 1914 here, General J.B.M. Hertzog founded the Free State National Party. I don't know what that is, so I'm going to get rid of that from the... it has to do... Prime Minister of South Africa. Huh. Well, I wonder if that is anti-apartheid. I'm not sure. 1915, Australia began Commonwealth Lighthouse Service. And what was that, mate? Like, what is the Commonwealth Lighthouse Service? Cape Dawn Lights, the Commonwealth Lighthouse Service. One of the first actions of the service was to realize the need for a lighthouse on the Cobourg Peninsula, as the passage between the peninsula and Melville Island was an important route to Darwin. All right, so lighthouse stuff. In 1915 as well, Australian Survey Corps became part of the military forces. So I guess just government appointed people to survey the land. Check out what later would become tectonic disturbances, land rises and falls and shifts and and all that stuff. Those people out there with those devices looking through those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those protractors looking things. So.
No.
But what do we got here in 1916? Here we go.
1916. First of 4 fatal Jersey Shore shark attacks occur at Beach Haven when Charles Vincent, 25, bled to death, challenging previous scientific belief that sharks never hurt humans and sparking popular fear over sharks with persists today. Hey,
Sharks.
don't swim with sharks.
Yeah, it's like it's people say sharks aren't dangerous and sharks aren't hunting humans, and dude, like, sharks will eat people, no problem. Sharks literally eat license plates. They found car parts in shark stomachs and everything, and you think that they're gonna spit us out? Are you kidding me? Like, the reason why shark attacks are so uncommon is because sharks are in deeper water. If we go into deeper water, we will be hunted relentlessly, just like the seal. Like, that's all we are to them, is we're just a land-based seal. Like, sharks are vicious predators. They don't care. Like, they don't mistake you for this or that. They just see something moving, it's food. They don't give a flying crap. So all these people who are out there being like, oh, well, you have 12 times more likely to be killed by a cow than by a shark. Well, gee, isn't it because that we're both fucking land animals? I wonder why. Stupid. So, anyway, you got another 1916 here, really important. So, he alluded to this yesterday, actually.
1916, the first day of the Battle of Somme in World War I, the British Army suffers its worst day, losing 19,240 men.
Yep. And I'm sure it's... Actually, no. They got rid of it? Oh, wait, right here. Yeah. Battle of the Somme. The British launched their planned offensive in the Somme Valley, but the Germans have quietly been preparing for weeks. So I don't know why they have 2 articles of the same subject matter spread with 2 things in between it. Why they should combine them. That threw me for a loop when I was researching writing yesterday. I was like, wait, what? But yeah, we have another 16 here for you.
1916 Coca-Cola brings their current formula to the market.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the one with cocaine.
Yeah, right?
Yep. So the cocoa leaves definitely still have that. Like if they don't put cocaine in there specifically, they put cocaine adjacent things in there for sure. So there's a reason why it's addictive, and it's not just the sugar. 1916 as well. We have Pittsburgh shortstop. Actually, why don't you take this one? It's sports. You're a sports guy.
First group, Pittsburgh shortstop Hannes Wagner at 42 and 4 months connects at Cincinnati to become the oldest to hit an inside the park home run. Pirates beat Reds 2-1.
All
I
right.
was gonna say 42. That's really old for sport.
Yeah, that's retirement age right there.
Hmm.
But you got another MLB here.
Oh yeah, 1917 MLB Cincinnati's Reds. Fred Tony pitches 2 complete games in the doubleheader victories over Pittsburgh Pirates, allowing 3 hits each game, fewest allowed in any pitcher, winning 2 MLB games in 1 day.
Wow.
Woo!
He pitched both games and he won both games in the same day. That is an all-star athlete right there. Wow.
Oh bad, but he had to ice up after that one.
Hell yeah. 1917, racial strife in East St. Louis, Illinois turned deadly as 2 white police officers are killed while driving through a previously attacked neighborhood in an unmarked car. Now, I am all opposed to unmarked cars by any stretch. Like, if you're policing, then police. Be out there with your badge shiny and up in front and center. None of this, spy crap. Stop spying on your own citizens, police. But, with that said, this brings up the other thing. They were in an unmarked car to the people who murdered them. They were just 2 random white people. They weren't police officers or anything, so they just murdered 2 white people, just randomly. So, very, very relevant article, over 100 years ago, and that stuff is still happening today. So, yikes. 1919, U.S. first-class postage dropped from 3 cents to 2 cents. It went down? What?
Holy shit.
Like, how what? That's weird. So,
That's weird.
1920 here, Sir Herbert Samuel took over as High Commissioner over Palestine, where Arab resistance to the British mandate continued. And that just raised an eyebrow for me because of all the stuff I've said, about the formation of Israel and all that stuff, in the various other shows we've done. Well, now British, because of, this situation and other things like that, the Palestinians, were not happy that the British were there. So in return, the British dumped, a bunch of, people of another religion right on them, 20 some odd years, 30 some odd years later. Almost seems like it was a payback intention. I don't know. I can only speculate. But what do we got here with the Cardinals?
1920 St. Louis Cardinals become tenants of their AL rival St. Louis Browns as they abandoned Robinson Field midway through the MLB seasons and returned to Sportsman Park. Ooh.
Womp womp. Wow, like that is... Could you imagine, like, abandoning your own home and having to go to your rival's house and live there? Like, that is such a... Like... That is beyond humiliating. That is just sad. Like, I feel sorry for them. Oh, you got another sports one here. A lot of sports today.
1920 Washington Senators pitching legend Walter Johnson no hits Boston Red Sox 1-0 at Fairway Park, the only no hitter of his illustrious career.
All right. Well, better have one than none. There's that.
Oh yeah.
3 years later, we have the first permanent radio network, AT&T, WEAF-NY, and WAMF, Massachusetts. So New York and Massachusetts. Of course, AT&T. 365 days later, 1924, direct regular transcontinental airmail service between New York and San Francisco forms. Ooh. So now they're flying planes from coast to coast, delivering mail. Good stuff. A lot of mail history today, actually. Like, that's what, a third or fourth article involving postage today?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. As I said, first of the month, a lot of politics and you know, government business stuff, you know, all that, what rigmarole, you know how people are. So, 1926, Belgian scouting magazine Le Boy Scout Belge published, quote, The Adventures of Totor, in quote, or I guess that's the title, by cartoonist Hergé, his first comic strip series and a precursor to Tintin. We all know about Tintin.
Oh, Tintin?
Yeah. You know, a little Tintin, you know, hey, let's find him here.
Tintin's the dog.
Yeah. Oh, Tintin's the dog? I thought it was the boy.
I think it's a boy and his dog, yeah.
Yeah.
Right there.
But I thought Tintin was the name of the boy, not the dog.
Oh. I don't know. I just remember him having a dog, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
And there's a movie, I actually kind of want to see it, just out of curiosity. Same reason why I went and saw the Peabody, whatever, like the history from Rocky and Bullwinkle, like that little shorts, the kid and the dog, and they have a time travel thing.
Yeah.
They had a movie about that. I saw that out of curiosity, whatever it was called. Anyway, 1926, Canada restored their gold standard. What a concept! You know, maybe it's time for the U.S. to do something about their gold standard, like get back on it. So, 1929, U.S. immigration law of 1924 came into effect. That's really relevant, but I wonder what it is and why it took 5 years for it to pass. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. It was a federal law that prevented immigration from Asia and Africa and set quotas on the number of immigrants from Eastern Europe, Southern Europe, and the Middle East. It also authorized the creation of the country's first formal border control service. Oh, the U.S. border. Oh, this formed the U.S. Border Patrol. And established a consular control system that allowed entry to those who first obtained a visa from a U.S. consulate aboard. Wow, so happy birthday, Border Patrol. That's, wow. I'm gonna, happy birthday, U.S. Border Patrol. So not only is it Canada's birthday, it's the U.S. Border Patrol's birthday. That is, I did not expect to figure that out today. 1930, Great Britain signed Accord for Independence of Iraq. All right. 1 year later, the ice vending machines were introduced in Los Angeles, 25 pounds, 15 cents. So 15 cents for 25 pounds. So vending machines for ice. That's really cool. While that was happening, we have the Trans-African Railway in use from Benguela, Angola to Jatoville in the Congo. All right, so you know, like intercontinental railways or Trans-African Railway going from one side to the other in Africa. Trans-African Railway. Let's see. Let's find a map of this actually. Trans-African Railway. Here we go. So yeah, so going from north to south. Here at least. But it's broken through here, which is unfortunate. Or I guess they can go through here if they wanted to. But here from east to west or whatever. Okay, is that? Oh, that's Djibouti to Dakar. All right. Oh, it goes right through southern Chad. That's interesting. What else do we got here? In 1931 as well, U.S. President Herbert Hoover placed a 1-year moratorium on war debt payments. What is a moratorium? Moratorium. Like, is that a hold or something? Temporary prohibition of an activity, a legal authorization to debtors to postpone payment. Okay, so anybody who had war debts, you got a little break here. So that's pretty cool. 1933, German Nazi regime declared that married women should not work. I am not for that. I can see where they might be coming from. Like, you have obligations at home because you're married. You might have kids, or something like that. But, let people decide what they want to do. At the same time, they should be responsible for the world that they live in. So, Anyway, what do we got here in 1933? Oh boy.
1933, German Nazi regime declares that married women shouldn't work. We already went over that. 1933, the Canadian Parliament suspends all Chinese immigration.
Uh-oh. But we just did that with the Act of 24 here, back in 29. We prohibited Chinese immigration. And African immigration, too. Oh, 1934, here we go. And this is something you should not be too...
First X-ray photo of an entire body taken by Arthur Fuchs of Eastman Kodak Company in Rochester, New York.
Kodak!
That's interesting. I've had plenty of X-rays.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's something that you should not be foreign to or whatever. Like, you should not be a stranger of.
Oh, is he related to the Kodak Company?
Oh, no, but Eastman Kodak is the Kodak Company.
Oh.
The camera company.
Okay.
That, like, is on its dying breath right now, if they're still even around. Like, dude, they didn't want to go digital. They wanted to keep film a thing. Like, stupid. 1935, Algemeen Netherlands Pers Bureau, ANP, General Dutch Press Agency, formed in Amsterdam. All right. So, 1937, Spanish bishops supported Francisco Franco and his fascist movements. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's right, because Spain, whatever his name was, of Spain, like, they had a civil war, and their own, like, they're kind of like borderline fascists or something. But that's why Spain wasn't in World War II. Like, they were neutral, but they were on the side of Italy and Germany. 1938, the South African Press Association, SAPA, was established as a non-governmental institution by South Africa's major newspapers to facilitate the sharing of news, both national and international. That's great. I believe that's the same reason why the ANP here, the General Dutch Press Agency, was formed. 1940, Australia refused entry to Dutch Jewish refugees. Oh, that's not nice. They're trying to run away. Like, what the hell, Australia? 1941, the first commercial TV licenses was granted to W2XBS, WNBT, NBC, and WCBW, CBS in New York City. I recognize two of those. But do you want to tell us what else happened in 1941? Of course.
1941, the Bulova watch co-pays $9 for the first network ever TV commercial. Wow.
Dang. So on the same day that the first commercial TV licenses were granted, we have the first ever network TV commercial, and it was $9.
What's that, like $90?
Let's check that out. Actually, 1941, $9 would be $192.29 today. That's a very big increase of $183.29 over 83 years. Producing a cumulative price increase of 2,036.52%. Our economy is so trashed. Oh my god. Hey, you get to talk about the DiMaggio.
Hey, 1941, New York outfielder Joe DiMaggio, on way to a record of 56, ties Willie Keeler's 44-game MLB hit streak and a 9-2 win over the Boston Red Sox in Yankee Stadium.
All right. Good old DiMaggio. Why does it just say baseball player? He should be like, isn't he in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah. Say Hall of Famer, ThEoD Mario.
Yeah, he's not just some random player. Come on, give him props. So, 1943, pay as you go, first withholding tax from paychecks. That sounds ominous. So, and 1944, 2,500 and more were killed in London, southeast England, by German flying bombs. Yeah, the Blitz, the Battle of Britain. Oh. And we got to the Bretton Woods Conference starts on this date in 1944, dominated by Harry Dexter White and John Maynard Keynes, and led to the establishment of the IMF and the World Bank. Boo! Boo! I wish I had more thumbs down to boo. Boo the World Bank. Boo. 1944, General Eisenhower visited the front in Normandy. Alright, yeah. Not even a month after. But secured, contained, protected. So. And, what do we got here? Ooh, nice.
1945, first MLB superstar to return from World War II, Hank Greenberg homers his first game. Detroit beat Philadelphia 9-5.
All right, Mr. Greenberg. Thank you for your service and thank you for entertaining us. It's these guys are really awesome. Like the sports people, they have the life in front of them. And they go and they serve. Now, granted, these guys were drafted, most likely, or some of them volunteered. I do know that. But, I mean, never forget Pat Tillman. Never forget Pat Tillman. I'm not even a football fan. I don't give a fiddler's crap about sports. But that guy, he volunteered. And he unfortunately met his end in a friendly fire incident overseas. I have a feeling he got fragged. I don't know. But yeah. Let's see here. 1946, the last white Raj, Charles Vinier Brooke, ceded Sarawak to the British Crown. Do you know why they call him the last white Raj? You know what a Raj is, right?
No.
Like a leader in India. Like, I'm not sure if that's their president or if they have an emperor or what. I don't know anything about their politics. But a Raj is like a king, like a leader, like in their culture. And he was the last white one because, as we all know, for a while India was a dominion of the crown, the British crown, and they of course appointed British people as the leaders and whatnot. So they had white Rajas for a while. This was the last one. So, even though I've met Indians who are whiter than me, so. People come in all colors. Like Indians, same as Mexicans and other Hispanics and whatnot. They can go from really dark to really white. If I get plastic surgery, if I just change my features to that, of people, of other ethnicities, I can pass off in a lot of different countries because they have all sorts of colors. That's why I'm saying color doesn't matter. Take the term African American. I say this all the time. Elon Musk is an African American, and he's whiter than chalk. Anyway, 1946, U.S. drops an atom bomb on Bikini Atoll. This was the fourth atomic explosion, and the birth of Bikini Bottom. SpongeBob SquarePants. That theory has actually been more or less, I think, borderline proven true, because I saw a video yesterday about rock bottom. Remember the people who talk like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the people who suffered the most radiation. They're in the bottom of the crater. That's why it's so far down. They're in the bottom of the crater. They're all irradiated because they're all glowing. They're all physically glowing. There's only one guy with the glowing thing was an attached piece. It's a whole thing, actually. I got to find it. We got to watch it after the show. It's really interesting. Let's move on up here to 1947. More sports. You're becoming a sports guy, if you don't mind, actually. I'd like you to be the sports guy.
Basketball Association of America, BAA, which later became the National Basketball Association, the NBA, holds its inaugural college player draft. So 1947.
All right.
It officially became the NBA.
Yep. You got another one here, 48.
48, Brooklyn's future baseball Hall of Famer catcher Roy Campanella's debut with 3 hits and a 6-4 loss with the rival New York Giants.
Wow. 6-4 loss. He was carrying his team, bro. Like, he got 75% of the score. Wow.
Yeah.
1949, we have the Magna Carta of the Information Age, a mathematical theory of communication, article of book by Claude Shannon and Warren Weaver laying foundation for information theory, published in Scientific American. That's historically significant right there. Information theory. Let's look that up here really quick. It might be self-explanatory, but let's see. Information theory is the mathematical study of the quantification, storage, and communication of information. The theory was yada yada yada. A key measure in information theory is entropy. Entropy quantifies the amount of uncertainty involved in the value of a random variable or the outcome of a random process. For example, identifying the outcome of a fair coin flip with 2 equally likely outcomes. False, false. A coin has an edge. It has a 0.001% chance of landing on the edge, so you don't get tails or heads. It's very unlikely, but it's true. So I already, right there invalidated this theory. Provides less information, lower entropy, less uncertainty than specifying the outcome from the roll of a die with 6 equally likely outcomes. Another incorrect. You have a higher outcome of landing on a higher number than a lower number, because the higher numbers have just ever so slightest amount of mass taken out of that face for the holes in the dice, or mass added to it. Whatever the case, because of the weight distribution in free space, it has a higher chance of landing with a heavier side down, which is a lower number. So, wow, I never thought I'd be disproving theories like that. Huh. Anyway, moving on up to 1950, we have the first 407 U.S. soldiers flown to South Korea to fight in the Korean War, the Forgotten War. And while that was going on, New York City bus fare raised to 10 cents, equal to subway fare, combo fare at 15 cents. And actually, I missed over something here. 1948, New York City subway fare went to 10 cents, bus fare to 7 cents, and combo fare to 12 cents.
Highway robbery,
yeah,
I tell you.
So the subway was raised to 10, and the bus was raised to 7. But then the next 2 years later, the bus was raised to 10 to equal subway. So now, if you took the bus or subway, it was 10 cents. Or if you had a combo, it was 15 instead of 20. So you saved a nickel. So there's that.
Pickle.
Yep. 1952, English architect Michael Ventris said he has solved one of 20th century's greatest linguistic riddles by deciphering linear B in BBC interview. Is it an ancient form of Greek on clay tablets from Minoan Palace in Knossos? Huh. All right, so let's look that article up really quick here. It's not telling me what the riddle was or anything. Linear B decoder, Michael Ventris. So he decoded linear B. The code was cracked by a young British architect who identified the sounds that related to each symbol and worked out that linear B was used to write a form of ancient Greek. Huh. So it was a visual representation of audio. That's pretty wild. They were writing in audio sounds in ancient Greece or whatever. That's incredible. 1956, Elvis Presley wearing a tuxedo appeared on the Steve Allen Show. Dressed to the nines. 1960, Benjamin Britten's cantate Carmen. Carmen. That's some weird. I don't know why that's even in there. 1957. Do you want to take 1957? This one's interesting here.
International Geophysical Year begins until December 31st, 1958.
Huh. So it was 1 year. International Geophysical Year. Also referred to as the Third International Polar Year, was an international scientific project that lasted from July 1st, 57 to December 31st, 58, as said previously. It marked the end of a long period during the Cold War when scientific interchange between East and West had been seriously interrupted. 67 countries participated in IGY projects, although one notable exemption was the mainland People's Republic of China, of course, which was protesting against the participation of the Republic of China, which was Taiwan. East and West agreed to nominate the Belgian Marcel Nicolet as Secretary General of the Associated International Organization. So, it was an international cooperation during an extreme time of high political strife and uncertainty. You know, like, it's things like this that, you know, really keep me going every day. No matter how awful things are, people still find ways to work together. Like, this is amazing. This is amazing. 1958, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation linked television broadcasting across Canada via microwave. Oh. I'm just imagining, like, the people with metal fillings, are, you know, or they, like, you know, are they getting transmissions in their head and they end up getting loony bins? Like, I'm getting the CIA menu in my dreams. It's like they're actually getting the freaking radiation. I don't know. 1958, 1959, the World Refugee Year began. What the hell does that mean? World Refugee Year. Let's see here. World Refugee Day. Well, let's see here. 1959. Let's look this up. 1959 World Refugee Year. Okay, here we go. 1959 through 60. Go away. It's not been easy for the United Nations proclaimed 1959 World Refugee Year, urging member states to continue to focus on the refugee problem, make additional financial contributions, and encourage further humanitarian solutions for refugee settlement. The year began in June of 1959 with 52 countries participating. This number increased to 72 countries and 6 territories by the end of the year. Nice. So here we go, another example. You know, despite all the problems and, you know, like, all the legitimate issues, like, happening, like, people still find ways and reasons. I mean, like, you know, like, look at the Christmas truce of World War One. Like, at the end of the day, we're all people. We just really have got to stop the animosity and start figuring out ways to work together, not apart. So, 1960. Here we go. Do you want to take this one? Like, we were talking about Cuba yesterday.
In 1960, Fidel Castro nationalizes Esso, Shell, and Texaco in Cuba.
Interesting. Despite an embargo and all that stuff, we still somehow trade oil and cigars with them. Huh. You know? Money talks, politics walks.
Well...
but yeah, no, I'm sorry, I keep skipping over your turn, so let's have you take as many as you want.
1960, First Nations peoples in Canada granted the right to vote in federal elections while still retaining their status and treaty rights.
Huh. Okay. We had conversations with Loon before. Canada is a quote-unquote independent nation, but they still, to a certain degree, answer to the British Crown. Australia is truly wholly independent. You know. So, Canadians are still subject to the British Crown. I wonder if that includes the French Canadians. Because, you know, Quebec and all that stuff. Or if they're under France rule. I don't know. Does France even have royalty anymore? They have a president. Macron. Does France still have a royal family? List of French monarchs. But I don't care about the list of French monarchs. Does the French royal family still exist? Okay, here we go. Okay, yada yada. The end of France's monarchy, so no. Well, then again, like, didn't they get, like, overthrown during all the revolutions? So the bourgeois. Anyway, what else do we got here? Another 1960.
1960, Guyana becomes a republic.
All right. Go Ghana.
Them.
Go Ghana. It's your birthday. Literally, it's your birthday. Or becoming a republic, at least.
1960, the independent Somali Democratic Republic, commonly known as Somalia, is formed out of former British and Italian territories.
Huh. Isn't that where a lot of pirates are, Somalia?
Yeah, now
Somalian pirates we?
Somalia pirates.
With a yo-ho-ho!
Chicken-a-doo. 1962, Algeria votes for independence from France.
Yes.
Good. Another 1962, Burundi and Rwanda gained independence from Belgium. National Day.
All right.
Everybody up there for independence, right on.
Now, here's the example of answering a question you didn't even realize you had. Here's one from my personal. I didn't even realize what zip meant in zip codes, but we're about to find out.
Oh. Zone Improvement Plan. All right. 1963, ZIP, Zone Improvement Plan codes are introduced for United States mail. Wow, wow. I would thought that would take place in, like, I don't know, 20s, 30s.
I guess there just wasn't that much of a
60s.
population back then, But yeah, and technically this is our, 6th postage article of the day? It's mail day!
Yeah, lots of...
Well, we are reading a bunch of letters.
Haha. 1966, first color television transmission in Canada is broadcast from Toronto.
Huh, cool.
Alright, color TV.
Oh, I don't like this next one.
Oh, in 1966, construction crews began tearing up Market Street in San Francisco to build the Bay Area Rapid Transit System known as BART.
Bart!
BART!
Ay, caramba! Also in 1966... Sorry.
U.S. National Health Insurance Program Medicare goes into effect. Alright.
I don't know about that, man. Like, you nationalize health services, now your tax money is going... That's another tax, Like... And just bureaucracy and makes things a lot more difficult. I'm pretty sure if the majority of things were in the free market, it would be a lot more efficient. Especially healthcare. Like that's why you have to wait 18 hours in the damn waiting room. Why doctors overbook themselves 51,000 patients a day.
The last time I checked, it takes $1 billion to get a pill on the market.
What? Are you kidding me? It takes
That was the last time I. That was the last time I checked, like 5 years ago, at least.
Oh well, then it has to be like $2 billion or more without inflation has happened. But $1 billion to put in to do one pill on the market. That is astronomical. I mean, like I remember when I was a kid, like I was told it's $1 million for every foot of a freeway, and like that blew my mind. I'm like, I couldn't even conceive of so much money. It's just like, you're just on the on ramp. If it's 50 feet, that's $50 million. Holy hell! Yeah, that's what was going through my head. It's like there's $1 million, there's $1 million, there's $1 million, there's $1 million, there's $1 million. Like, wow. And when am I gonna see any of this money, huh? Like we have all this money going through all the circulation. I ain't seeing any of it. Anyway, moving on up to 1967 here, we have the first British color TV broadcast on BBC Two. So Canada defeated the British. Or did they? No. Oh yeah, they beat them by a year. And speaking of the British, BBC also started its World Radio Club. Huh. I mean, they did start off as a radio station and then evolved into television, and now they're online. 1967 as well, Bobby Ucher wins both races at Mosport, Ontario, Canada. the first championship car races ever run outside the U.S. Huh. Pretty cool. 1967 as well. We have a few of these. Canada celebrated the 100th anniversary of the 1867 British North America Act. Of the 1867 British North America Act, which served as Canada's constitution for over 100 years. Well, we've been going on for about an hour and a half, and I'm getting violently hungry. So, what do you say we wrap up the show? I know there's a lot more history to go to, but I just implore people watching this, this is just the stuff that, we cherry-picked from the main source. There's so much happened today, but, I'm running out of steam personally. So let me just scroll down here. That shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar in the description for any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. We're not just on Rumble or on YouTube. We're also on BitChute and Odyssey and such. Links to those, our social medias, and more are down in our link tree, in the underbar description. And for your dose of passive and daily, we stream every day at 11 in the morning Pacific time, which is 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. We have other shows. As I mentioned earlier, a talk show. We might not be doing that today because we haven't been preparing. But, I'm getting back into the swing of doing this history show every day, as I have right here, as This Day in History. We have the news show coming up on Friday. And various other shows that we're working on. So if you want to see us live, if you're on the West Coast, it's 11 and 3 all for the Mountain, 12 and 4 watch us for more, Central 1 and 5 for the Contrive, East 2 and 6 for your fix. For all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
King's Refuge.
And you are you. And until you catch us, next time, whenever it is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!
Deuces.